What's up, guys? It's your boy Stevie Stone once again, and this is Eclipse Records. Forgive me about my voice, I've been having some little kind of flu, but I'll be okay. Today, we just want to learn about 3 camera basics that as a beginner photographer you have to learn about. These 3 things are important and they always complement each other. You don't always want to go with the other and forget the other. You understand what I mean? So let's get in. So the 3 things that we want to discuss today is the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. Let's start with shutter speed. Shutter speed, let's say for instance you're having someone running, or maybe you have your kid running and you want to capture that moment, or maybe your pet running and you just want to stop that moment in action and have that picture, clear. So shutter speed helps in this. So this is when you crank up your shutter speed and just, capture the moment. So shutter speed helps open up the shutter fast enough to stop that moment and to have it clear and sharp. So that's the importance of shutter speed, and that is what you have to know about shutter speed when it comes to photography. It's very important. So the second thing that we want to talk about is aperture. Aperture plays 2 roles in your camera. First, it lets tons of light inside your camera, and this plays an important role because it gives you bright images, and they look so nice, and they're lit up well. So you always want to make sure that your aperture is bright enough when you open it up all the way to 1.8 or 1.4 to capture that moment with nice lighting and stuff. So aperture also does something in the background. So when, for instance, you want to capture a landscape and you want to make sure that the landscape is well captured and it's well lit, and also it's sharp, you always want to lower your aperture, maybe to an f11 or maybe f16, just so that all the background and the environment is set to a sharp and bright way. But if you don't really like the background and you just want to focus on an image, you always just want to take down or maybe just open up the aperture all the way up to 1.4, so that when you capture that image, the shutter speed is also there to open up and close, just to not allow more light comes in perspective of time. So that is aperture, and it's very important. It will give you a bright and crisp kind of looking images. Let's talk about ISO. ISO, in terms of low light situation, it plays a good role. Let's say maybe at night, maybe in the house, you always want to crank up your ISO. And ISO for me is like fake light inside the camera. So when you're having a dark space, or maybe you want to capture a moment but there's no other lighting there, so you always want to crank up your ISO 800, 1600, 3200, just to make sure that the image is well lit up, so that all the moment is captured and all the details are included inside. But remember one thing with ISO: if you crank it up, it's like you're starting to lose the image quality of that moment. And if you exceed with this, you will introduce things that are known like noise in your images, and this will make your images appear bad, and you don't want to go all the way to this. You always just want to use it, crank it up just a little bit, and if possible complement it with some light. So but ISO comes in handy when you don't have any other option. But the better your camera, the less it will allow noise even when you crank up your ISO. So also your gear is really important here, and also the type of lens that you will be using. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 3 camera basics that you always want to keep in mind as a beginner or photographer, and you always want to make sure that you know these things when you're starting off your photography journey. But in time you will just have them at your fingertips, and you won't have to think about them so much when you started. And sometimes you will look at your images and you'll be like, oh, I think I had my ISO too high. Oh, I think maybe I had my aperture, too low, too high. So you will always tell after some times, and you will really get better at this. So be patient with yourself as you walk this journey, and also I'll be sharing more about camera basics just to help those photographers and all those videographers that are starting up. And there you have it, guys. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, guys. Share my video with your friends, and you know, all those photographers and all those videographers that are starting off their journey, so that they may get to know about all this, and they get to also learn about a lot of ideas and things to put in consideration while you know, doing all this. So subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll appreciate that. Thank you guys. Until next time, peace out.